Hi, I'm Kat and this is my episode 3 of Vampire Academy reaction and discussion. It's very weird filming these because I'm filming like 1, 2, 3, 4, like one right after the other, so I feel like I just haven't shut up in a while. So let's get into me live reacting to the episode and I'll meet you back here to discuss. It has been 4 hours since I pressed play on episode 1 and here we are only at the beginning of episode 3. It's goddamn camera battery! Anyway, episode 3. Death Watch. The Dominion suffers a great loss. Rose meets her match. Christian receives shocking news. So I think the Dominion suffering a great loss is the Queen's gonna die. Rose meets her match. Dimitri. Or her mother. Is her mother gonna show up? And then Christian receives shocking news. I'm gonna watch this intro every time though to see if it changes. Alright, that's where we're at. The attack happening super early. Oh! Right through the head. There's Janine! That was such a badass entrance as well. Oh, the foot? Okay, we're just ripping people apart. Oh my god! We could see all his teeth. Because he didn't have cheeks. No, thank you. Oh, so the attack...
Your Majesty, the situation's dire. Dhampir numbers were already down.
So, Jesse's attack and that attack were different ones. Okay, but I like her. Vampirs can have kids with humans.
Someday, but still.
Oh, was he the guy whose teeth we saw because he didn't have cheeks? Because he's paying for his mouth?
Sense of how I'm feeling.
She's actually gonna respect Rose's boundaries.
And last night, we have places to be. How about we pretend this conversation never happened?
Ooh. Question: Can they also see the gold lines? Was that just for us?
What do you want with a library? Fuck off. I have to study. Fuck.
Mother.
Mom's such a badass.
The Strigoi attack on St.
I mean, we need you out of my head.
I want one of these jackets. Oh, is the Dominion suffering a loss just St. Jude's, not the Queen?
I know we only...
With a Strigoi
Oh, that's a
threat
cute building.
greater.
Oh, hi Silver.
The Blood
Oh!
and focus on preserving our society.
Okay, so she's a dhampir. And she's a blood whore.
Dhampir women from our country
Really surprised to see her
will
boobs.
be provided for those
Wow, they're really going into this breeding
who
thing.
not stray.
Dimitri hugging someone. Oh, and Rosaw. Oh.
But I'm next on your dance card, Rose.
Finally, Eddie, where you been? You should go and punch her. That was a camera trick.
Overreacting.
She got a black eye.
Why do you do that to yourself?
Hi, crap.
I know how much you want this. Sci-hounds.
Oh,
Dogs created to roll.
okay. I mean, you can very much tell that that was drawn. Siam doesn't look real at all.
We mourn as one.
Carlissa.
No fucking way.
Upon further reflection, I have decided to
Ooh.
open tonight's death.
Look,
They haven't
the
talked
apocryphal text
before.
outlines fantastical baton.
Okay, so they didn't know about
I
compulsion
think we
before.
can do this.
These two haven't had scenes before.
Yeah.
This is the first time
Okay, that's
we're
okay.
seeing them meet.
Listen.
And they're just
In the story, they then burn the
getting
guy at the
along.
stake. One lady they tied to him.
If everyone's allowed, why are they glowing their eyes?
Not
Guys,
at
it's
all,
just not right.
princess.
Fuck now.
Oh, I love her physical expressions. Now we're talking in French.
They're dead. We mourn ours. Let the call out begin.
Okay, that sounded Australian.
To Grayson, who saved my life.
Okay, yeah, Janine is Australian. That's a waste of a glass. They're just gonna... Glasses aren't always cheap.
Thomas.
I want to go to this dhampir bar. My camera battery died again, and then it just did that. It's SD card error thing again. It is 9:30 at night now. I just want to finish the episode so I can go back on Twitter. It stopped at like the worst time as well because all the dhampirs were dancing and Rose and Dimitri were dancing and it was like, I'm loving this, and then it died. Okay, now they're line dancing. They're having fun. Pirates. It's not like pirates. Oh.
I hate to bother you tonight, but
They were having so much fun. Now they're just sad.
Your parents.
My parents are
Ooh.
dead.
No.
This is taken outside your former dormitory. Dmitry Belikov.
Tatiana, don't
Born
flap.
the Russian Saint Polina lover of kittens. I made the last part up.
Every lie has some small truth.
Wouldn't mind if he liked cats. We just literally fried the system. She can't get caught either. Hi, Mom. And Meredith show up now. Nope, Sonia. Oh, there's Meredith.
Just passing by because I'm going for a walk.
Great splashed all over the
Their
Dominion.
dress are
Acting out
similar.
like this, the only way to survive as a guardian is to keep your nose clean.
Guardian.
Duty above all. Which means you can
So
either be
Aussie
a
ochre.
guardian or
Then maybe it's the world that needs to change.
Yes.
Maybe you should ask your friend Dimitri if I'm right.
Let's get this over with.
That's what every girl wants to hear. Wouldn't you read the card first before it in the box? Is that a jaw? Yeah, this is why you read the card first. Oh, yep. That was him without the cheeks. We have the dhampir dances and then the Moroi dances.
A fifth element.
Oh, that's not.
Parent.
There's 4 elements.
You really are a unicorn. But unicorns are rare.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
at least until they kill his parents.
2 of your second cousins.
without them, you lack a
There were
quorum.
more Dragomires?
Quorum?
The camera battery died again. Let's just hope it lasts like the 9 minutes I need it to last, and then I'm doing episode 4 tomorrow.
Lady Dragomir's only task now.
She's still a
is to stay
princess.
alive and in ceremony of
We
sunset
was
tomorrow. It won't be our usual
being
extravaganza,
cool until
but
now.
it should give us something.
Do you
Tatiana.
know what you've done with this ancient quorum rule of yours?
Who's gonna die first if they're mixing up the timeline? Duster!
See, how's our next assignment to get to?
It figures.
Standing in the middle of a
Scorch the
alleyway.
earth, threaten me with communes,
that.
and then
What's that? He blames himself.
And I want a life to call my own.
Nice. They're like my OTP.
What's she so?
Oh, the Science. Why isn't Jesse always seeing these things happen?
The only question is by who?
Oh, we're finally seeing his disease. He seems surprised by this. Maybe he was just poisoned. Did Tatiana poison him? Interesting developments. Very interesting. Because that was very fast, and he doesn't look older. So it seems like he was poisoned, and unless him like controlling the Psyhounds somehow was like weakened him. But he has Sonia, who would have been healing him. Okay, notes, let's go. First up, Janine Hathaway in the house. That was such a badass entrance as well, because it was her like staking in the middle of the fight, and you just kind of like see her as the Strigoi ends up being killed. Like, good entrance. And then we learn that it was a St. Jude attack, and it didn't have anything to do with the Strigoi that was attacking St. Vladimir's when Jesse was trying to get into the compound. I don't even know what it is anymore, because it's like the school, and then it's also the court, and everything's there. But it was a really cool looking fight. The queen, her name is not Ekaterina, so it's a different queen completely. And then there's a whole discussion about needing more dhampirs, and like the queen, I'm really like liking her. We'll get to a decision of hers that I don't like in the end of this episode or episode 4, but like she's just upfront about things, and she's like, oh my god. And like when they're talking about wanting dhampirs to breed, and she's just like straight up, he means tell them to fuck more. She doesn't mince her words. And then we see compulsion for the first time, and it's like gold lines. I'm guessing that they can't see those lines, and that's purely for our benefit. It is a little cheesy, and it could use some work on it, but I get what they're going for. Those dhampir bomber jackets, I would very much like one, please and thank you. I have seen that Peacock is selling like less bomber jacket types of them, but they're also only shipping to the US. I don't appreciate that. Peacock, do better. And then we got some more nudity from Silver this time. We saw her boobs, and for what? Again, just the nudity is throwing me because it's Vampire Academy. Oh, and then like the whole breeding thing, like they're going into it. Like they're ordering dhampir women and Moroi men to fuck, and it is intense. Oh, and then I have finally Eddie. Where the hell have you been, Loka? We haven't got a lot of Eddie so far. Can we have more of him, please? I feel like we may have actually had more Eddie had they decided not to keep Mason, because Mason was still supposed to die, and then they really loved Andrew, who plays Mason, so they have more Mason now. So I feel like Eddie got pushed away because we're getting more Mason. And then the camera spin with Rose when she was fighting her mom, and like Rose spins and then falls, the camera went with her. That was cool. Oh, and then Janine punched Rose. Rose doesn't end up with a black eye, but she gets like a little bit for like 5 seconds. But I see what you're going for. And then Dimitri holding Rose's head when he puts the ice pack onto her face. And then the thigh grab immediately after that. I shipped these guys so much. Like Rose and Dimitri are like my OG OTP. Then the Psyhounds. We actually get to see them, and when we first see them, it didn't look real at all. So were they purposely going for like an animated thing, or was it supposed to look real and they just didn't have enough time and money to work on it? Very different Tatiana. Very different Tatiana. And then I have, if she doesn't backstab us, she's cool. And then, oh, the Queen is listening to Lissa. So initially for the Death Watch, only Royal Moroi were invited, and then Lissa says something to the media, and so the Queen invites non-royals. Then we learn later that they weren't actually allowed in, they were just allowed to stand outside. So the Queen is like walking a tightrope on whether I like her or not. Oh, they're just learning about compulsion. So Rose and Christian have a scene here, and as far as I remember, it is the first time we see them interacting, and they were just getting along. Like, did we miss something? Is there a deleted scene of them interacting in the last 2 episodes? Because I feel like we skipped something to get to them just getting along. Like, there was no snarkiness or sarcasm or stay away from Lissa type things. Cece's facial expressions are just so good when she's acting. Like, you can see the shifts in what Rose is thinking, and I love it. And then Janine, she is Australian. She's being played by a Brit, but she's definitely Australian. Like, I heard it when she was saying guardian, like it was a very ochre sounding way of saying guardian. I don't even know if I'm saying it in an ochre way, but she's Australian. I want to go to this dhampir bar. It looks like so much fun. It really does look like such a fun bar. Then I have a note about where they're taking things from. So like the Moray language sounds Asian, and then the dhampirs were talking in French, and now they were dancing to something that was like very like folk or like Celtic. So like they're taking things from like all over except Eastern Europe. That is something I don't know how I feel about. And then the big, oh my god, bomb. Christian's parents are still alive? What? What are they doing here? It's very interesting. So I feel like maybe his parents are going to take on the role of what Elijah and Elena from book 2 were taking on, where they like kidnapped people. So it's going to be like that kind of dynamic. And then back in the bar, Dmitri was born in Russia. Okay, we're getting a little bit of Russian. Oh, and then Dmitri and Tatiana better not be flirting, because that seemed a little flirty. But no. Mia and Sonia are cute sisters. They really are. Like, both Mia and Janetta just are seeming so adorable in their characters, even though like Mia, the character, is like a bit bitchy, but it's understandable, like with the way that she has been treated these days. And then we see Christian again, and he gets a delivery, and it's a jawbone. Like, fucking hell. And it was the jawbone of the person whose like cheek and jaw we saw missing in that fight scene, and no thank you. Like, if that's a gift from his parents, don't want it, you return it to the store. Then we go back to fun. The dhampir dance just seems so much more fun, and I would rather be doing that one. And then another like oh my god moment, there were more Dragomirs alive. So it wasn't just Lissa's family, there were more alive. And like, I feel like that's something they should have told us straight up, because maybe it didn't matter for non-book readers, but book readers, that's crucial information to know that there were more. But then like they immediately die as soon as we find out about them. But I feel like we should have known. And then yeah, wow, the queen was cool until she enforced the quorum rule. And then Rose, back on Rose taking Dimitri's drink, and then them having a chat. Ship them so much. But also, Mason, stop being so sad puppy-ish and making me feel bad when Rose and Dimitri are flirting, because I love Rose and Dimitri and they are endgame. Oh, and then we see the Psyhounds again. They were looking a little better when they were attacking the Strigoi. I feel like any gripe we have with special effects in this is because they just did not primarily have the time to do it, because this TV show was rushed out. Like, it's been like a year since it was announced. Like, they were immediately like, go, make it, it's launching in September. So they just didn't have time to make it look as good as it could have been. And then it's also a TV show, so they probably didn't have a lot of money. And then why is it always Jessie seeing these attacks? Every time there's a like attack happening at the gates these days, it's always Jessie's fault. And then we're finally seeing Victor's disease. Maybe he was poisoned, because it was a very like immediate, like he was fine and then suddenly he wasn't fine, which seemed like he was poisoned or like having a heart attack or something. But then later on we see like Robert saying, go see a doctor. So I feel like it is his disease, but he's just getting it instead of having it for a long time. And then I have very interesting, a different path for Victor. So with the whole timeline just being thrown up in the air and put in different places, we have a different timeline for Victor as well. And Jay is making me like Victor so much, and like, no, need to stop liking Victor. I know where this is heading. Whew. And that was all of my notes for episode 3. So really loving Rose and Dimitri. Mason, stop being a sad puppy and making me feel bad. Alyssa and Christian are adorable. Tatiana, she's an interesting character. She's very different to book Tatiana because this is Tatiana Vogel, and in the book it was Tatiana Avishkov who was already queen. What did you think of the episode? Let me know down below. Let's discuss. I'm sure there's many things that I just didn't talk about in this video because I already know the videos are going to be pretty long. And so I need to like stop myself from rambling. Now I have one more episode to finish talking about today before we get into our weekly stuff. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel to see the rest of my Vampire Academy videos. And yeah.